I came home for winter break and noticed my sister was acting weird. Being the overprotective brother that I am, I watched her like a hawk for a few days until I finally caught her sneaking out to meet some blonde punk. Huh? Like hell I'm letting that slide. I immediately rushed down and shoved the kid away. But amidst my sister's high-pitched screeching, he flipped the script, pinning me against the wall and leaning in close. Long time no see, upperclassman. Classic literature has Juliet, and my family has me, Lindsay. That's right. The name I've been too embarrassed to say out loud for 20 years is my actual name. Most families favor boys over girls, giving daughters names that imply they're waiting for a son. But judging by my name, my family is the exact opposite. My old man is a total slave to his daughter. According to my grandma, when the nurse first brought me out, my dad's eyes were sparkling. But the moment he lifted the towel covering my butt, he went completely catatonic. When my mom woke up, my dad grabbed her hand and just started sobbing. He scared my Iron Lady mother half to death. She thought I hadn't made it. Honey, it's a boy. It's a son. Boo-hoo-hoo. A big, burly man crying like a baby. Legend has it the news spread through the entire hospital that afternoon. Our family had a son, and it was a tragedy. Growing up, my dad believed in tough love. If I made a mistake, his palm, the size of a fan, would leave my butt in 4 distinct quadrants. That is, until I was 4 years old and my mom gave birth to my sister. I sat on the hospital bench that day, watching my dad hold my sister, who looked like a little wrinkly monkey, laughing so hard I could see his tonsils. He laughed so loud that people who didn't know better thought he'd won the Powerball. Dad named her Lily. He held her like she was made of glass and treated her like she was made of sugar. He was terrified that speaking 2 decibels too loud would shatter his precious baby girl. For the first few years, I just thought the little brat was ugly. But then she started elementary school, and after seeing other people's sisters, I realized mine was actually pretty cute. Once Lily learned to talk, she'd cry whenever Dad hit me, so our relationship got even better. Thanks to my dad's careful cultivation, I, Lindsay, officially became a cis-con, a brother obsessed with protecting his sister. As Lily grew up and got prettier, my father and I were united by a single will for the first time ever. That mission: block any illicit blondes from getting near her, and definitely no guys who ride motorcycles. It wasn't until recently, during my sophomore winter break, that I felt the little brat was acting sketchy. I watched Lily put on makeup, grab her bag, and even put in colored contacts before cheerfully saying goodbye and heading out. I nudged my dad. "Old man, where's Lily going?" The old man was playing Mario on the big screen TV and replied casually, said she's hanging out with classmates. My eyes narrowed, and I rubbed my chin. Something's wrong. There's definitely a problem. I got a smack on the back of my head so hard I almost face planted into the coffee table. Quit talking nonsense. What problem could there be? I said with absolute certainty. There is absolutely a problem. A light bulb went off in my head, and I shot up from the sofa. You don't think she's dating someone, do you? Thud. The game controller dropped from my dad's hand. He fell into deep thought for a moment before his eyes instantly turned sharp. Agent Lindsay, investigate this thoroughly. If it's true, show no mercy. I stood at attention. Mission accepted. My mom, who controls the finances, listened to our report while holding her coffee. She turned around and Venmo'd me $3,000. I was shocked. My living allowance is usually only $400 a month. Mom pushed up her glasses and took a sip of coffee. Operational funds allocated by the organization. Clutching my phone, I suddenly realized that the daughter complex isn't limited to gender. First, I used my status as her brother to secretly contact Lily's best friend. I spent a fortune buying her 2 designer dresses as a bribe. The girl's eyes lit up immediately, even as she said, "Lindsay, I will absolutely never betray Lily." Meanwhile, her hand honestly revealed a photo. They've been pretty close lately. The photo was clearly taken at school. A boy with short blonde hair, wearing a baggy school uniform, was taking a jump shot. The sunlight hit his face, giving off that vibrant, youthful vibe. Honestly, he was good looking. The kind of guy I'd do a double take at on the street. But trying to date my sister? That's a hard pass. My eyes locked onto that short blonde hair. He really was a freaking yellow hair punk. Send me that pic. You have his socials? The girl was practically drooling over the dresses. Just as she was about to shake her head, I pulled a matching jewelry set from the same store out of my bag. Yes. I laughed triumphantly. What a satisfying transaction. Kid, you dare chase my sister? You have a death wish. These blonde punks are the most unreliable type. I decided to come up with a plan to handle him. I changed my profile picture to a generic pretty girl, curated my feed, and added him on social media. I planned to hook this little blonde into an online relationship, then take the screenshots to my sister to expose him. I'm sure once Lily sees what kind of person he is, she'll break up with him immediately. He accepted the request less than 10 minutes later. I scoffed. Zero self-control, little brother. Hunter, is your name Lindsay? I froze for a second and quickly checked my profile. Sure enough, I forgot to change my display name. Thinking about it, he doesn't know I'm Lindsay. Yeah. You're so handsome, little brother. Want to be a couple? I went straight for the jugular. Unexpectedly, this kid pulled a plot twist and sent me a voice message directly. His voice was clear and magnetic, deliberately lowered as if whispering right in my ear. It made my scalp tingle. Hunter, you want to be a couple with me? I immediately typed yeah, adding a cute sticker of a bear with a pounding heart. Hunter, when did you see me looking handsome? I was just passing by the basketball court by chance. Saw you playing, and my heart skipped a beat. This time, the voice message was a bright, hearty laugh. I thought he didn't believe me, so I immediately sent the photo Lily's best friend gave me. Look, I even took a picture. Hunter, you took this? My heart panicked a little. Is there something wrong with it? What about it? Hunter, nothing. You take great photos. For the next few days, I chatted with him whenever I had time. The blonde kid got hooked pretty fast, seriously sharing his daily life with me every day. Basketball, food, new sneakers, flowers by the road, cats and dogs. He'd even report to me when he got an ace in his video game. Pretty clingy, aren't you, Blondie? My dad sneaked into my room. How goes it? Any new intel? According to my latest intelligence, there is indeed a guy. I pulled out the photo. The old man looked at it, shaking his head and tootang. He looks all right, but he's not good enough for my daughter. I nodded furiously beside him. The door was suddenly pushed open, and Lily, the topic of discussion, breezed in suspiciously. What are you two sneaking around for? Hiding something from me? The old man and I instantly raised our hands and shook our heads in unison. Lily's eyes darted around, and her hand moved like lightning, snatching the phone off my bed. Oh, isn't this Hunter from our school? Lindsay, why do you have his photo? Because my brain spun at high speed. At that RPM, even a bullet train couldn't catch up. I looked to the old man for help, but he averted his gaze, refusing to offer a single shred of assistance. Lily looked suspiciously back and forth between me and Dad. Finally, my phone dinged twice. It was a picture of a blooming rose. Hunter, the roses are in bloom. I didn't get it. I thought the blonde kid was just being weird. But Lily's eyes suddenly lit up. She squeezed onto the seat next to me, her face written all over with gossip. Lindsay, you aren't dating Hunter, are you? My eyes widened instantly. She could tell. From that, probably because my shock was too obvious, Lily gave a mysterious smile and said, the second half of the roses are in bloom is, I miss you very much. Huh? What could I do? Under Lily's glowing gaze and my dad's vicious glare, I had to swallow this bitter pill alone. I even had to grit my teeth and reply, me too. But the name Hunter, why does it feel like I've heard it somewhere before? Ever since Lily found out I was dating Hunter, the little brat has been walking around with a weird smile. She even started sneaking around on her phone. What are you looking at? Smiling so creepy. When I leaned in, Lily immediately ran far away. Not telling you, if I insisted on looking, she'd remote summon our dad to beat me up, using the excuse, Dad, Lindsay is bullying me. I kept a close watch, And sure enough, that afternoon I saw Lily put on makeup and sneak out the door. I immediately grabbed my phone and looked down from the 6th floor. Gotcha! There was a guy standing downstairs. If it wasn't that blonde kid Hunter, who else could it be? I rushed downstairs without even changing my slippers. I pulled Lily, who was holding his sleeve, away from him, and then, just as I was about to talk some smack, I looked up and realized this blonde kid was a whole head taller than me. Our eyes met and he froze for a second. Lily immediately spoke up nervously, "Lindsay, why did you come down?" I swallowed hard, pretending to be fierce as I shoved Hunter's chest. "Who said you could chase my sister? Don't come looking for her anymore." Hunter looked at me, frowned slightly, and didn't speak. "Looks like he's not happy about it, huh? Hey, are you list?" I deepened my voice and reached out to shove him again, but he grabbed my arm with one hand, pulled, and pushed me against the wall. He took a step forward, pinning one leg between mine, trapping me completely between him and the wall. "Apro." I was a little dazed. It seems I can't beat him at all. "Hunter." I said his name, trying to de-escalate the situation, mostly because getting beaten up in front of my sister would be embarrassing. But when he heard me say his name, he chuckled lightly and suddenly spoke. "Upperclassman Lindsay, long time no see." He knows my name. Then, on the app earlier, my brain instantly scrambled. Meanwhile, my sister Lily was watching us with eyes shining like headlights, letting out a string of squeals mixed with the sound of her phone camera shutter. Suddenly, a spark lit up in my brain. I dug through my distant memories and found the name Hunter. Hunter, isn't that the kid 2 grades below me in high school who wrote me a love letter? Back in high school, I was something of a campus celebrity. Freshman year, because my name is Lindsay and I have a pretty face, the whole grade started calling me by the nickname Lindsay the Belle. Because I was such a protective brother, I even dragged my dad to boxing classes. My dad didn't stick with it, but I actually kept boxing for several years. Until one day after school, passing by the middle school next door, I saw some big guys bullying someone. When I went over, they underestimated me because of my face. The leader pointed right at me, his voice dripping with mockery. "Little sissy, don't meddle in other people's business. Get lost." I sneered. The last guy at the boxing gym who called me that didn't show up for a week. Being a manly man my whole life, the thing I hate most is people calling me a sissy. I dropped my backpack and rushed in to beat them up one by one. Before leaving, the chubby kid who was being bullied was squatting in the corner peeking at me. I snatched a lollipop from him. "What are you looking at? This is my fee." Holding my bag, I left the kid with a cool view of my back. I don't know how people found out about it, but my nickname got upgraded to Lindsay the Action Bell. Damn it. After 2 years of embarrassment, I finally made it to senior year and could act like a cool upperclassman. A freshman, over 6 feet tall, joined the school and charmed the girls in my class senseless. Whenever it was gym class, they'd swarm over like the wind to watch him play basketball. Watching my desk mate with a flushed face, I lay lazily on the desk, a bit curious. Is he really that handsome? Hearing me ask, my desk mate got so excited her braids almost took flight. Really? Super handsome? I scoffed, skeptical. Could he be more handsome than me? My desk mate looked at me with a complicated expression for a long time, then shook her head and tooted. "Lindsay, you really have no self-awareness. Your face has nothing to do with handsome. If we have to find adjectives, it should be beautiful, pretty, androgynous, stuff like that." As she spoke, she remembered something and nodded to emphasize. "And it's a pulls trees out by the roots kind of beauty." Damn it, psycho. Who knew that not long after, a specialized envelope appeared inside my desk. "What's this? Is it yours?" I turned around holding the envelope, confused, asking my desk mate. Her eyes lit up, and she shook her head rapidly. She smiled creepily. "Heh, Lindsay, is your love life finally blooming? Huh? You're crazy. If they write to me, do I have to agree?" That's what I said. But while I intended to coolly throw the envelope away, I felt like it would hurt someone's feelings. Whatever, let's be real. It was my first time receiving a love letter. Even though I thought it was stupid, my heart was pounding. giving me that butterflies in the stomach feeling. I pretended to casually toss the envelope into my backpack. At night, after sneakily locking my bedroom door, I carefully took it out under the lamp, ready to admire the masterpiece and see which classmate wrote it. But when I opened it, "I like you." The first line is false. The second line is also false. Huh? A love letter? This short? Isn't this a little disrespectful? And hitting me with the double negative equals a positive logic. Although, it was kinda sweet. Then I looked at the signature at the bottom. Hunter. This, at first glance, doesn't really look like a girl's name. But naive me thought the masculine name was just her parents' mistake. After all, what straight guy would fantasize about a guy liking him? The next day, after buying a popsicle and passing the basketball court, I suddenly heard someone shout, "Hunter!" My blood ran cold instantly. Goosebumps popped up all over. I stiffly turned my head to look at the court. There were a lot of people, but through the gaps in the crowd, I vaguely saw a very tall guy in a white jersey. A guy. FCK me. I ran back to class in a panic and asked my desk mate from the intelligence department with desperate eyes, still clinging to a sliver of hope. "How many people in our school are named Hunter? Is there a girl?" My desk mate froze. "Hunter?" I nodded. "There are no girls named Hunter. There's only one Hunter in the whole school. Who names a girl that? Didn't you know?" I shook my head, my face pale. "How would I know? The super handsome guy I told you about before is Hunter. He's incredibly hot. I think he's in your sister's class too." My brain turned to mush. I didn't hear the rest of what she said. My mind was just screaming. It's over. Even if Hunter is handsome, he's a freaking dude. Even if I look good, I'm a straight guy. After that, I practically lived a hermit life in the classroom. The basketball courts and the track became forbidden zones. It wasn't until I graduated and went to college, starting my brilliant university life, that I gradually forgot about this. And now, looking at this blonde guy in front of me, I was completely dumbfounded. What does this mean? Confessed to me before, and now he's hitting on my sister? Is he trying to collect the whole set? Absolutely psychotic. Thinking about him making a move on my sister, I ignored my disadvantage and stood on my tiptoes to grab his collar. I threatened him fiercely. "Whatever is between us, don't you dare drag my sister into it." Hunter's expression didn't change. His smile deepened, and the leg pinned between mine squeezed in further. I was forced back even more. "I don't understand what you mean, upperclassman. Quit playing dumb. You know my name, so you knew it was me when I added you on the app?" He smiled and nodded. "Yeah, I knew." I gritted my teeth. "Then why did you agree to be a couple? Are you sick?" I was waiting for his reply, while Lily watched with eager eyes from the side. Because, just as he opened his mouth to speak, my dad suddenly appeared holding groceries, looking strangely at our unspeakable posture. "Why aren't you guys going upstairs? What are you doing here?" While Hunter wasn't paying attention, I shoved him away and walked over to my dad, about to explain that it wasn't what he thought. My sister let out a squeal and rushed to my dad's side, hugging his arm. Using a whisper that all four of us could clearly hear, she started her report. "Dad, keep it down. That's Hunter, Lindsay's boyfriend. He's the famous untouchable flower of our class." I didn't expect them to actually be together, but Lindsay seems to have misunderstood our relationship a bit. "Don't say anything, or they'll fight." "Me." My dad, facing his precious daughter's instructions, agreed with a smile like a blooming flower. Meanwhile, standing behind them, I turned to look at Hunter, wanting to cry but having no tears. I paused when I saw him. He was just standing there quietly, looking down at me. Even though Lily was speaking so loudly, he hadn't shifted his gaze. His look was as soft as a passing cloud, or like a night sky full of stars. When our eyes met, he suddenly smiled brilliantly, so handsome it made my heart race. Damn it. This flirty blonde really knows how to seduce people. I am not attracted to him. The little blonde's skills are just too deep. If this guy were a fox spirit, he'd have at least 5 tails. My dad walked ahead laughing with my sister, and I awkwardly followed behind with Hunter. Halfway there, I poked Hunter in the waist. My dad just asked you to eat at our place. Don't overthink it. Hunter looked at me with innocent eyes, as if he didn't understand what I was saying at all. Do I have to spell it out? I gritted my teeth and warned him. You and I aren't together. Before was a misunderstanding. Don't get it twisted. But Hunter suddenly let out a low mmh, stopped walking, and lowered his gaze. In 2 seconds, he went from a sunny, cheerful boy to a melancholic beauty. I panicked a little. What are you doing? He's not gonna cry, is he? He didn't speak. Instead, Lily, who was walking ahead, turned around and asked, "What's wrong?" Hunter's eyes suddenly turned red, looking like he'd been fiercely scolded, looking absolutely shattered. He looked up, his voice still holding a trace of stubbornness. "I'm fine, it's just that Lindsay wants to break up with me." Me, huh? What the hell are you saying? Before my brain could even process it, Lily had already rushed over and grabbed Hunter's sleeve. She looked at me with eyes full of disappointment. "Lindsay, I'm so disappointed in you. How can you be so fickle with feelings? Let's go, Hunter. Dad and I approve of you. If he wants to break up with you, he doesn't need to come home." With that, she dragged Hunter back to the house. My dad walked over and gave me a vicious glare. Deserved. Me. Wait, Dad, why are you like this too? This is a work-related injury. Didn't you ask me to help you find the blonde guy tricking your daughter? Now not only am I forced to date a guy, but I'm also not allowed to break up with him? Also, what kind of fox is Hunter? He is clearly a green tea master in human form. Hunter has started making himself at home in my house. It's terrifying. First, using the boyfriend status and being Lily's classmate, he won her sympathy. Then, whenever I wasn't willing to do something, he'd reveal his true nature and use my sister to control me. Upperclassmen, I want to see a movie. The green tea fox issued a request. I was playing a mobile game and frowned impatiently out of habit. I'm not going. Hunter didn't speak for 2 minutes. My heart skipped a beat. I looked up and saw him sitting backward on the chair, his eyes red. The next second, my sister pushed the door open. "Lindsay, are you bullying Hunter again? Who the hell is bullying him?" But seeing his red-rimmed eyes, I wanted to explain, but Lily wouldn't believe me. I'm really suffering. It feels like I got a mother-in-law without even getting married. My life is hard. I shoved my phone in my pocket, totally numb. Let's go. Movie. In the movie theater, clutching the popcorn I bought, I furiously stuffed my face, eating like a squirrel. Suddenly, someone leaned close to my ear. In the dim theater, I could smell Cool Mint. His voice carried a hint of teasing. Hasn't Big Brother had a crush on me for a long time? I immediately hugged the popcorn, turned sideways with burning red ears, and looked at him in horror. What nonsense are you talking about? My voice was a bit loud. People nearby turned to look at us. Scared, I immediately lowered my voice and grabbed him, whispering a warning. Who likes you? I pretended to be a girl to get close to you because I was afraid you were hitting on my sister. Didn't you know I was a guy? You knew, so why ask? What kind of guy dates another guy? You? I was about to continue, but I suddenly remembered he seems to like me. Shock? I don't like guys, but he does. My hand holding the popcorn was forcibly grabbed by him. His long, bony fingers forcefully interlaced with mine. The devil's whisper sounded in my ear. I know you like me, brother. If you want to break up with me, guess if Lily will think her brother is a scumbag? If I act a little more pitiful, maybe if I can't be your boyfriend, I can still be your brother-in-law. You wouldn't dare. My voice was frighteningly loud, startling the people nearby. My face went red, and I immediately dragged him out to the empty hallway. Hunter, what exactly do you want? The despicable blonde smiled triumphantly, reached out to grab my collar, slammed me against the hallway wall, and kissed me. FCK. My lips were crushed red. I made a fist, wanting to use my boxing knowledge to give him a solid 1-2 punch. But he seemed to predict it. No matter how I attacked, he blocked it. Finally, he just firmly pinned my arms. Brother, since I dared to force a kiss on you, naturally I'm prepared to get hit. As for what I want, that, of course, is you. His breath was right on my face. The obedient, sweet little blonde had completely turned into an old pervert. My eyes widened. What the hell is Hunter saying? Phew, damn. While he loosened his grip, I threw a solid punch right at his dog head. Left a black eye on the pretty blonde's face. He got hit, but looked like he was having an episode, bracing his hands on his knees and smiling at me incredibly handsomely. Hunter, you are genuinely sick in the head. As soon as we sat down back home, Lily held her phone, wearing a "how do I have a brother like you" expression. Regarding the fact that I punched Hunter, she launched a deep condemnation against me. She practically scolded me to tears. When it finally ended, I immediately slipped into my parents' bedroom and carefully closed the door. I put on a mourning face. Mom, Dad, Lily completely believes this thing with Hunter and me. She yells at me every day because of him. I request to cancel this operation. My dad looked at me strangely. Huh? Weren't you too real to begin with? Huh? No. I sacrificed myself as bait. He asked me so earnestly I started doubting myself. My mom, wearing glasses and handling work on her laptop, turned to look at me upon hearing this. Hunter is a good kid. If you're dating, date seriously. Don't make your sister worry. Huh? No, Mom, Dad, we aren't real. And even if we were, do you have absolutely no opinion on your son bringing back a guy as a partner? My mom was concise. No. My dad waved his hand impatiently, his tone disdainful. What opinion? As long as it's not a boyfriend Lily brought home. I clutched my chest, stumbled back 3 steps, and held onto the wall. I almost coughed up 30 pounds of blood like in a drama. You guys, sure enough, a child unloved by parents is like a weed. I can't stay in this house another day. It's just after New Year's anyway. I packed my bags and prepared to flee. Before I left, Lily smiled sinisterly and asked me, Lindsay, is your dorm still 3 people? I felt something was off, but she goes to college in a different city than me, so I nodded and didn't think much of it. Until a week later, I came back carrying barbecue, pushed open the dorm door, and my eyes practically popped out. Looking at Hunter sitting on the bottom bunk smiling ambiguously, I was completely dumbfounded. I immediately turned around, walked out, slammed the door shut, and opened it again. His smile was even bigger. It's over. Even barbecue can't save me now. Inside, roommate A asked roommate B, what's going on? Is the campus bell refreshing the page by opening and closing the door? Hunter's eyes held a smile. Campus bell? Roommate A, who is from the Northeast, laughed and explained eagerly. See, our Lindsay looks prettier than the girls. When we were voting for Campus Belle, someone uploaded his photo, and he got a lot of votes, so everyone calls him the Campus Belle. Roommate B laughed too and shouted to me, hurry up, new roommate is here, a freshman junior. Come on in. It felt like sitting on pins and needles, like a fishbone in my throat, like thorns on my back. My life is so freaking bitter. Family betrayed me. Roommates were also conquered by Hunter within 2 weeks of school starting. Not only that, I haven't shed the Campus Belle nickname, but the Campus Hunk title was taken by Hunter. And since we share a dorm, some weird people have started shipping us as a couple. I lay on my bed, not wanting to go out at all. Might as well cut myself off from the world like this. Someone climbed up my ladder, reached out, grabbed my back collar, and pulled me up. Time to eat, brother. I looked at him with a miserable face. Out of options, I grabbed Hunter's hand, begging, Hunter, why do you insist on liking me? Can't you like someone else? Hunter looked at me blankly for a long time. Finally, he slowly lowered his head, his eyes turning slightly red. His handsome face looked so fragile that one more question might break him. When he reached out to hug me, my heart was a mess of panic. He buried his face in my neck, his voice muffled. Lindsay, do you hate me that much? I don't hate you, but I like girls. His embrace was frighteningly warm. When he pulled away a moment later, the sudden separation felt slightly uncomfortable. He kept his head down, his voice already sounding like he was crying. I understand. Lindsay, I brought you food. Remember to eat. I wanted to see if he was crying, but he kept his head down and tried to climb down the ladder. In a panic, I reached out and grabbed his firm forearm. The moment Hunter looked up, my heart pounded wildly. The rims and corners of his eyes were red. Crystal tears swirled in his eyes, and as he looked up, they flowed down his cheeks and hung on his chin. I subconsciously reached out to catch that tear. It was so small, yet so hot. "You," seeing me speak, panic flashed in his eyes. He pulled his arm back, jumped down the ladder in 2 steps, grabbed his jacket, and ran out. In an instant, my inner guilt reached its peak. Who could handle seeing that? Ever since we cleared things up last time, Hunter and I seem to return to a normal roommate dynamic. It's just that occasionally, when laughing loudly with roommates in the dorm, I'd turn my head and catch Hunter looking at me deeply. His eyes held hidden currents, with sadness and pain in the depths. When I looked over, he'd immediately look away in panic. If he really couldn't dodge it, he'd force a heartbreaking smile. It made my heart ache just looking at it. The 2 roommates noticed something was wrong with Hunter. Behind his back, they dragged me into a small meeting in the dorm. "Roommate A, what's up with the 4th? He looks like he's been in a bad mood lately." "Roommate B, is he heartbroken?" After saying that, both of their gazes instantly focused on me. My heart jumped, and I shot up from the chair. "It has nothing to do with me." Regretted it as soon as I said it. The 2 of them looked me up and down suspiciously, and finally slapped their thighs and laughed. "Didn't say it was you, just wanted to ask if you knew." "Why are you so jumpy?" "Scared me to death. Thought the thing with Hunter was exposed." Finally, we decided to go out for a group dinner off campus on the weekend to cheer Hunter up. Weekend. I arrived a bit early and went to the front desk to get drinks. When I got to the door of the private room, I heard the roommates asking Hunter, "4th, you're so handsome. You must have a girlfriend, right?" Hunter smiled and shook his head. "Oh." 4th is shaking his head. "That means there's someone he likes but isn't his girlfriend yet." I was just about to push the door open when I heard the smile in Hunter's voice. "Yeah, there's someone I liked for a long time." "How long?" 5 years. "Holy crap, 5 years. Isn't that since middle school?" Hunter leaned back in his chair, his eyes sweet. "Yeah, I was chubby back then and got bullied by some guys. He showed up like a hero. The view of his back as he left was beautiful." "Huh? Middle school chubby kid? Isn't that the kid whose lollipop I stole?" "He actually, that early? Are kids these days so precocious? A little girl fighting a group? That cool?" Hunter tapped his phone a few times, his tone full of affection. "Not a little girl. A brother who's even prettier than a little girl." The roommate's eyes widened instantly. My face burned up in a flash. I wanted to go in and interrupt their conversation, but I felt like going in now would be super awkward. Then I heard the roommate ask again, "So you've been in a bad mood lately because of him?" "Yeah." He rejected me. The air went quiet for a moment. While they were still thinking of words to comfort Hunter, I quickly pushed the door open and went in. As soon as I sat down, Hunter used his chopsticks to put a piece of ribs in my bowl. "Eat up, brother." MMH. My face turned even redder. The roommate, who couldn't keep his mouth shut even while eating, had to ask, "Lindsay, why is your face red? So annoying." Next to me, Hunter chuckled softly. His voice was deep, and his laugh sounded really good. "Recently, I've started acting weird. Whenever I see Hunter, the moment our eyes meet, my face starts burning. Occasionally, when I see him smile beautifully, my heart starts pounding uncontrollably. If he just finished working out and showered, or is changing clothes, shirtless, exposing pecs and abs, it gets even worse. Instant blushing, heart racing, dry mouth. Damn it, I can't live like this. It's not that my willpower is weak, the blonde is just too powerful. I'm afraid I'm really done for." After thinking about it, I called Lily. The voice on the other end was as cheerful as a little bird. "Lindsay, miss me?" I hummed a yes and started complaining. "Lily, your brother seems to be really screwed." Then, from the beginning, suspecting Lily was being tricked by a blonde, bribing her best friend, getting the contact info and photo, being forced to be together with Hunter in front of family, then living in the same dorm, I told Lily everything. Silence on the other end for a moment. Lindsay, hold on. Let me process. A few seconds later, Lily suddenly exploded, her voice doubling in volume. Lindsay, do you know what the relationship is between my best friend and Hunter? Huh?
No idea.
Lily gritted her teeth. She's Hunter's cousin. I was wondering why she kept asking if you were single as soon as winter break started. She was fishing for intel. Those times I went out every day, I wasn't dating anyone. She just asked me to hang out. I wondered why she always treated me. Turns out Hunter, the moneybags, was behind it. My brain couldn't process this for a second. What does that mean? Silence on the other end for a while, then finally a sigh. Lindsay, maybe you should just give in. He used every trick in the book on you. With your brain, struggling is probably useless. That's what she says, but I still wanted to struggle a bit. I like girls. Have you ever liked a girl? No. Have you ever had a girl you liked? Do you count? The other end was speechless for a moment, then asked through gritted teeth. Why don't you ask if mom counts? Me. So, do you like him now? Although I didn't want to admit it. Yeah. Lily mischievously started giving me ideas. Lindsay, listen to me. Do this, and he will definitely confess. Will that work? Absolutely no problem. I returned to the dorm clutching my phone, beaming with joy. Yo, Lindsay, got some good news? I scanned the 3 people in the dorm, raising my face proudly. Me? I'm going to be the first one in this dorm to stop being single. All 3 faces froze for a moment. Hunter's eyes looked shocked. When I made eye contact with him, I felt a little panic in my heart, but I remembered Lily's words. Lindsay, if you don't firmly handle him this time, he'll eat you alive later. Be strong. Hunter let out a cold laugh, his voice incredibly deep. When did you start chatting, brother? I pretended to be calm and cleared my throat. Just recently. I went out to buy something and a girl asked for my social. I didn't think much of it at the time, but we've been talking a lot lately. Hunter's eyes were scary cold, so I had to look away. Is she pretty? I smiled, pretending to be shy. She's the cute type, just over 5 feet tall. Perfect match for me. Damn, Lindsay, you dropped a bomb quietly. I thought the 4th would be the first to date in our dorm. Didn't expect you to beat him to it. I laughed awkwardly for a while. Hunter didn't say a single word, just stared at me with a gloomy face. I was a little scared and quickly changed the subject. Can't talk to you guys anymore. Our first date is this weekend. I have to keep her company. After speaking, I quickly climbed into my top bunk and used the curtain to block Hunter's death glare. Over the next few days, my packages obviously increased. Clothes, shoes, hats, accessories. Every day when I tried on clothes, the 2 roommates were dying of jealousy, while Hunter barely spoke. I was getting anxious and messaged Lily. He's not reacting? Lindsay, trust me. The more he bottles it up, the harder he'll explode. Huh? Why do I feel like exploding harder isn't exactly good for me either? The closer it got to the weekend, the worse my bad premonition became. There shouldn't be any major danger, right? Early on the weekend, I showered, changed clothes, and put on cologne. Being already good-looking, after carefully dressing up, I was practically glowing. I nodded to myself. If anyone said I wasn't going to meet a date, even I wouldn't believe it. I was admiring myself in the bathroom mirror. Hunter approached from behind me, getting so close it felt like he was going to surround me. Heart rate accelerating. He isn't going to kiss me, is he? Instead, Hunter just reached out and plucked a loose thread from the back of my collar. He rested his chin on my shoulder, making eye contact with my reflection in the mirror. He chuckled lightly, but it terrified me. Good luck on your date, brother. Hey, thanks. Outside the school, I was still wondering if Hunter actually bought it, when a car suddenly stopped in front of me. Huh? Hunter? Hunter got out of the car, smiling warmly and gently, but his hands moved efficiently to open the back door and stuff me inside. I'm going on a date. Where are you taking me? He drove without even looking back, heading straight out of the city toward the suburbs. Holy crap, did Hunter go psycho after being rejected and is now taking me out to kill me? Although I boxed for a few years, Ever since our brief encounter last time, I knew I couldn't beat Hunter. I huddled in the back seat shivering. The car stopped in front of a villa. Hunter opened the door to pull me out. I whimpered for mercy. Can we go back to school? His fingertips were cold against my wrist. Seeing my fear, he leaned into the car to get close to me. Isn't Big Brother going on a date? No, not going. I want to go back to school and study. Study hard. Hunter chuckled lightly, but the smile didn't reach his eyes. That won't do. Today's date must happen. Saying that, ignoring my struggles, he princess carried me straight into the villa. I didn't dare struggle. Afraid if he got mad, he'd really off me. He carried me in and placed me on a table in the main hall. I was trying to sneak a peek at the interior decor and figure out an escape route. Then my cheeks were grabbed, and I was pressed down firmly for a kiss. Hunter, you tried to dodge, but he held the back of my neck, allowing no escape. At first, I was panicked, but then my wildly beating heart gradually heated up. From completely passive, I slowly started to respond. He held my butt, carrying me face to face, kissing me all the way up to the second-floor bedroom. When I was thrown onto the big bed, my face was flushed red, and my whole body felt like it was on fire. Hunter loosened the tie on my shirt and tied my hands directly to the headboard. His voice was raspy as he ground against my lips. Lindsay, you smell so good. I tried to be tough. I didn't spray it for you. Straddling my waist, he kept me firmly under control, smiling as he reached out to pinch my cheek. His tone was full of doting affection. Lindsay, did it never occur to you that I might have bought off Lily too? Huh? What are you talking about? Then flashes of Lily's excited tone, her generosity in buying me clothes, and even teaching me to wear cologne ran through my mind. Lee. MMPH. I shouted her name in rage, but before I could finish, my mouth was plugged again. Brother, in my bed, you aren't allowed to say other people's names. I hate this. This world is just a giant reality game, and I am the protagonist being manipulated. Lindsay, I like you. I paused, about to feel happy, when I felt a chill on my legs. My pants were gone in the blink of an eye. Hunter. Outside the floor-to-ceiling windows on the second floor, the lush green forest was filled with birdsong. The wind blew the white gauze curtains up gently, wave after wave, layer upon layer, dense and thick, until the end, rushing forth, the uncontrollable sounds shattered inside the room, leaving only a room full of the scent of flowers.